Our story begins on June 2009. A lifeless-looking young lady is in a hospital bed. Seol's mother clips her nails, engaging in a one-sided conversation because baby girl has no interest in responding. Over on the radio, a newly debuted K-pop group Eclipse is being interviewed and they're calling random numbers and giving gifts to fans. Seol's phone rings and she reluctantly picks up. All their attempts at friendly conversation with her are met with a rigid wall of hostility.
You're asking for it? You're dying for it!
The radio people hastily want to end the call, but one of the group's members, Ryu Seung-jae, attempts to salvage the conversation. He gives her some really nice comforting words that seem to penetrate her icy armor and reach her. She finally breaks down in tears. Fast forward to December 2022, Seoul is devoid of the doom and gloom we saw before. Her room is now filled with Eclipse's group merch.
I love you, Justin Bieber.
She's excited for their concert, being the first one in 5 years. Seung-jae doesn't share this joy though. He looks weary and worn out. He recently turned down a movie role and tells his disgruntled manager he wants to retire. He seems resolute. Seol's friend drives her to the concert, and as they converse, Seol laments not knowing Seung-jae back in high school because he had lived right across her house.
You're joking.
Her friend reminds her she was busy fangirling over someone else at the time. The other member of Eclipse are getting ready when Seung-jae walks in the dressing room. It's almost like Satan himself walking into a gathering of holy believers the way everyone reacts. Before the concert begins, Seol gets a call back from a place she applied to. She hurries over for an interview only to be rejected because the company building isn't wheelchair accessible. She tries to stay cheery as she returns to the concert venue. Unfortunately for her, a traffic jam delays her, and by the time she arrives, they're no longer admitting people in the hall. And dang it, she also lost her ticket. She has no other choice but to listen to the performance outside, but she does it with so much gusto. The concert ends, but in the commotion of people leaving, her phone is knocked out of her hand. The poor thing shuts down. Again, for some reason, all the members are already in the dressing room when Seung-jae walks in. One of the members is especially furious, demanding to know why he had to hear the news of Seung-jae's retirement from someone else. No one is happy about his retirement plans, it seems, but Seung-jae just says he wishes to be alone. On the way to the bus stop, Seol's scooter battery dies and we realize she's well and truly stuck. Memories of all the day's mishaps come back to hit her hard and she starts crying. By K-drama land magic, the only vehicle that notices Seol's predicament is Seung-jae's, and he steps out to help. They have a sweet artist-fan conversation and he offers to give her a ride back home. Golden bells are ringing, angels are singing, and her friend's car pulls up. He offers her his umbrella and she gathers her wits enough to give him a jar of something. Later on, we see the jar on a table filled with open pill bottles. The camera pans to Seung-jae standing on the balcony. His doorbell rings, but he doesn't respond. We see his body fall into the pool. It isn't long before news of Seung-jae's suicide begins circulating and eventually reaches Seoul. She hurries out of her house to go to the hospital he's admitted to see things for herself. On her way, Seung-jae's watch that she got at an auction falls into the water. She jumps in an attempt to retrieve it. In her search, she looks up and then she sees a billboard announcing the news of Seung-jae's death. She begins sobbing, unable to accept that the person she saw recently was now deceased. As she grieves, the watch turns on and everything freezes. Va voom, and we're transported back to the past. Seol awakens in her high school class. Her first priority is to run across the boys section of her school to see Seung-jae and also hug him. Everyone, Seung-jae included, is like,
"What happened to hello? How are you? My name is..."
She's escorted out of the premises. Convinced that she's also dead, she waits for Seung-jae to stop him from crossing the bridge to the land of the dead, and so she can lead him back to life. He of course thinks she's crazy and gets in a taxi to escape her. She finally goes home and from the state of things ascertains that she's in fact not dead, but in the past, the year 2008, before the accident that left her in a wheelchair.